Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Zeb at the Ranch. And, of course, on this Thursday, June 21st, without further ado, let's have our great voice of Kate Smith, and God bless America. And a good morning on a Thursday. Started off a little shaky. Hopefully that intro will be okay the next time. But I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, and we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. Get ready for a road trip, and they've got all the best of tires for you. And along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Take it away, buddy.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Time for the weather forecast, and brought to you by our friends at K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Right there. You couldn't miss them if you wanted to. They're right on the Burley-Paul Highway, and they've got all the tools and equipment you need absolutely to finish any project. So you get on in there and check it out with Roger and the crew. They get there early in the morning at 7 a.m. to serve you at K&R Rental. 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Number to call, 678-3122. Roll the weather. Let's hear what it's going to do.
It's another gorgeous day here in the valley. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are expecting sunny skies for today. Winds out of the east right around 10 miles an hour, becoming west by the afternoon. Could have gusts as high as about 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 84. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 53. Tomorrow, another gorgeous day. Sunny, winds out of the west right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 81. Mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 53. By Saturday, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, but still mostly sunny skies with a high of 75. For Sunday, sunny skies and 80, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny and 87. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And right now, don't forget, for long and short-term use, rental tools and equipment at K&R Rental. Great people to work with at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Like I said, they're right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. The number to call, Roger and the crew, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Merv May, come on in here.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves. They're here to get all their 31 woman and 31 going out.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. And, of course, Merv May, along with Cade Rogge and Lance Udy, the sale that works for you at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And sale time today at 10:30. Here's a partial list of some of the cattle going through the ring today. Chet Brackett out at Three Creek. They're real cowboys out there. 27 head of butcher cows. Oak Valley Dairies bringing in 25 head of Holstein bulls. And then we've got butcher cows. Man, if we got butcher cows from P-Bar S Dairy, Funk Dairy, Antelope Hills Dairy, and Acme Dairy, and along with the great trailer line run. 10:30 starting time at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Today's sale day, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves. They're here to get all their 31 woman and 31 going out. 32, 2 and a half, 3 and a half, 134, 4 and a half, and 5 and a half, 5 and a half, 130, 550, 135 and a half, $7.35. Zeb Bell, get the bottom again.
I'll tell you what, Merv, thank you very much. Today is Lunch Bunch, and we did not have Lunch Bunch last month, and due to some health problems, and we've got everything lined up for 11:30 today. We're going to be at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, and we urge you, your friends, neighbors, everybody to be there at 11:30. I know that I've got a whole bunch of things going on this afternoon, so we're going to jump in, have Lunch Bunch, and I've got to jump out, but you can stay there and visit as long as you like at 611 North Overland in Burley. Denny's Restaurant It's true, America's Diner. Great staff, fantastic menu. You're going to love it. Denny's Restaurant, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. And we want to say thank you to our gift certificate sponsors that include Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Pomerelle Place, and Denny's. Thank y'all. Lunch Bunch at 11:30. Don't miss it. Also, real quick, our thanks go out, and we're going to be talking to Rita Ramsey a little bit later on this morning, and she is our political guru. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. All your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. All is not bragging, because it's the truth. And expert, really knowledgeable people helping you. Get a hold of them today. Call 678-0459 or stop in at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Ramsey Heating and Electric, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. A couple of things I want to mention here this morning is we are getting bigger. At my age, you'd think I'd be backing off, but no, we're getting bigger and need another salesperson. If there's anybody out in this audience in the sound of my voice that would be interested in perhaps becoming a salesperson for my company, Shoot 2 Promotions, call me at 312-2976. That number again, 312-2976, of course, after the program. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm chuckling because of that story I heard on the news. Did you hear that a few minutes ago? That on I-40 in the panhandle of Texas, fairly close to Amarillo, they had a billboard that says, and I can't repeat it exactly because I just heard it and I started chuckling, "Liberals, keep on going, leave Texas, don't stay here." And somebody got mad and said, you got to take down the billboard. I think it's great. We ought to put a couple of those up by, Sun Valley? I love it. Liberals just keep on going. I love it. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to be talking in just a minute about threats. Absolute threats against the president and the First Family. And the left is getting away with this. I want to remind you, too, about Pomerelle Place at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. Now, they're planning on a great big health fair that's going to be there on July the 8th through the 12th. And Cassia Regional Hospital is going to be doing the blood drawing, and they're going to have vendors, about 30 of them, I understand. This is quite a health fair. And it's going to be at Pomerelle Place at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. And for more information, call Holly and the crew at 677-8212. That number again, 677-8212. Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living in Burley. That number, 677-8212. And also our friends, I just enjoyed doing this commercial because they're such nice people and they're so service-oriented. And I'm talking about Dino Septic Service, and they serve the whole Magic Valley. I mean, they really are good. Fast, fair, friendly service, and they'll pull in your yard with that great big truck that says, "Smells Cargo," on the way. Oh, I'm telling you, they take care of all the septic tank pumping, and of course they can install the septic tanks in the drain fields, and liquid waste removal, and water and sewer lines installed. All of this that you don't want to mess with. No, Dino Septic Service, they do, and they can help you. Number to call, 436-6526, and in Burley, 678-1638. Dino Septic Service, you get a hold of them today. How, and I mean this, how does the left get away with the threats and the filth thrown at this current First Family, the Trump family? Not only Donald Trump personally, but also Melania Trump, and now the president's son, Barron. One of the other lowlifes from Hollywood, a grade B movie actor by the name of Peter Fonda. Yes, you know Peter from Easy Rider fame, if you will. Henry Fonda's son, if Henry's probably rolling over in his grave right now, and of course the sister to Hanoi Jane Fonda, made a tweet against the son of the President of the United States. And it was a vile, filthy, expletive-laden tweet. I'm going to sum up. I'm not going to give it verbatim, obviously. But he said that he would like to see Barron Trump ripped out of the White House, kidnapped, and put in a cage with pedophiles. And then he added some filthy expletives talking about the president. Now, Trump has had many, many threats from the left, ranging from beatings to running over him to shootings and all kinds of other mayhem. And I cannot understand how you can make a threat against the President of the United States and not, underline the word not, have the Secret Service camped outside your door. If anyone or someone said anything negative or even close to what is being said today about Barack Obama, I shudder to think what would have happened to those people and what kind of repercussions and ramifications would have been due them in court. I do not understand how Peter Fonda, as I said, a grade B movie actor, can say these things about the president's son and get away with it. Now, I do know from checking this morning that the Secret Service is looking into it. Big deal, looking into it. What does that mean? Okay, they read the tweet. What are they going to do? Nothing? I think, honestly, that should be taken as a direct threat against the president's son, and the Secret Service should have Peter Fonda by the nape of the neck, taking him out of his house and saying, you ain't going to do this again, buddy. But the left gets away with it. The left gets away with it. And also, the left has a very poor memory. Democrats have a very poor memory. In other words, I'm really wondering if they should be left alone at night and be able to use sharp objects. They don't seem capable. 5 years ago, and this was really laid out for me with a good friend of mine back in New York City and Washington, D.C. with the Daily Caller and Media Research Center. 5 years ago, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, Hillary Clinton, and others, they were all in favor of what is now law on the border and what Trump is doing. They were in favor of it at that time because it was occurring during the Obama administration. And the youngsters at the border were being kept in much, much less conditions, if you will, than what they are now. But, of course, the left had to change. The left has a platform of hate Trump and everything the man does. But the left also has a very backward and subjective to what they want memory. This filthy tweet, like I said, has been turned into the Secret Service. And I wish that Fonda and others would be investigated and even charged by the Secret Service. Like I said, I detested, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, I detested Barack Obama. I did not like the man. I did not like his ideology. I did not like anything with his politics. I detested him. I thought he was evil. But I never once on this radio program allowed anybody to say anything that would be of this kind of nature with threats. Not allowed. I remember one caller called in, said something, and I cut him off. But how can the left get away with this? Really? Answer that question. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please call me. I want to hear from you. Wheels, at this time, can we have that good word for the Silver State Stampede?
PRCA Rodeo Action thunders into Elko, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. 3 big days for the 2018 Silver State Stampede. Nevada's oldest rodeo is family entertainment at its finest. This PRCA rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders going head-to-head in one of the toughest sports in the world. Action kicks off Friday, July 13th with mutton busting, a delicious tri-tip dinner, the Calcutta, Old West bronc riding, PRCA rodeo action, the world-famous Ring of Fear, and dancing to the Jeff Palmer Band. Gates open on Friday and Saturday at 4 with mutton busting starting at 6 and rodeo action starting at 7. And on Sunday, gates open at noon with mutton busting at 1 and the rodeo action starting at 2. Tickets on sale now at the Boot Barn and the Elko Chamber office. Rodeo action at its finest. With the 2018 Silver State Stampede, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. For more information, contact SilverStateStampede.com.
And don't forget to our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Hello, Nick Greenwell, king, honestly, of the physical therapists. This guy is such a great guy and so helpful, and his staff of physical therapists, they have the knowledge and all the exercises and that hydrotherapy pool. They've got it all to help you get back to being you and feeling good. Call for an appointment today at 678-1191. I'll repeat that, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. You get a hold of them today. Caller, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
And now, kind of getting back to this Peter Fonda thing, I heard yesterday, I think I've read it, actually, was that he kind of caught wind that the Secret Service was kind of coming along through his direction.
Yep.
And so he hurried and apologized. How's that for a big wuss?
Well, you know, an apology is great, and I read that apology, and the part that made me so frustrated is he said, I immediately felt bad about it, so I thought I'd make an apology. You know, how many times have you done or said something and all of a sudden you went, oops, but you don't make that kind of a threat against the president and his family and his son. That's not an oops, it's another liberal that's with a hate campaign against Donald Trump, and I want to see them prosecuted.
Well, you know, there's no saying that a lot of them libs ought to really take listen to it. There's no saying some things are better left unsaid.
Yeah, yeah. And
just the way it is with them, with this threat against the Director of Homeland Security and against Barron Trump, any of that. That's uncalled for.
Well, at the restaurant, I'm sure you heard the story about Nielsen, Secretary of Homeland Defense, was absolutely berated, etc., in a restaurant, and the restaurant owner, I don't know how this guy could be this stupid, but he basically came out and said he glad it was happened in his restaurant. That is pathetic. I do not know what's going to happen in this country, my friend, but I can tell you this. I was on the phone this morning early with Frosty Woolridge. Frosty is coming out here. He's going to be at my place on Monday, and he's going to be on the air with me Tuesday morning. But honestly, when you think about it, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but we are on the verge of civil chaos, and yes, I'm going to say civil war in this country, because the so-called elites, the so-called Democrats, and the so-called liberals, they can't accept the fact that they lost this election and they lost control of the United States, and I think at this juncture anything is possible. Do you agree or not?
I definitely agree. It's going to be ugly.
It is ugly. It's filthy, and it needs to be corrected now. Thank you for your call. I always look forward to talking to you. Thank you much.
You got it, and you have a great day.
All right, sir. Thank you. Honestly, folks, look at it. You can't bury your head in the sand. You can't just go, ho-hum, beautiful day, let's go look at the flowers. We've got problems right now. We have a divided country that absolutely hates Donald Trump and this administration. But on the other hand, these nincompoops filled with hate can't seem to watch the woods in the distance because a tree's standing in their way. We've got an economy that is growing. We've got everything going positive for this nation for the first time in a long time, especially the 8 years with Obama. And all they have is hate and spite and evil. I'm going to stand behind that because somebody's got to prove me wrong first. I just think that we're on the verge in this country of not only chaos in the streets, but chaos everywhere because the left didn't get their way. And the left knows right now with the percentages that very possibly and probably Trump will win a re-election. And they, the so-called elitist, they can't stand this. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, the reason why the left is so determined to bring this country down is because of the letting all these people come in, and they're very well indoctrinated. And I never realized till yesterday when I was tuning my little portable radio because I was going to do something outside that there was, I don't know, 4 or 5 different Hispanic stations that's in our reach on the radio.
So what's your point on that, Keith?
What's that?
I said, what's your point on that? I don't begrudge anybody having various kinds of music and or entertainment for anybody. So what's your point about the Spanish stations?
Well, the thing of it is, Jorge Ramos, who is the most indicative person that you'd ever think of, he is indoctrinating these people because they come in, and 90% of them that come across the border speak Spanish.
Okay.
So they want to know what's going on, so they listen to these various Hispanic radio stations.
Okay, but the point I'm getting at, Keith, and you're a good friend of mine, but sometimes I think we've got to sit down and arbitrate a little bit about what the facts really are. Number one, in our Constitution, the First Amendment allows everybody free speech, and if it's happening here in this country, then free speech should be allowed for all facets of a conversation, whether it's the left or the right. But what I'm saying is, we've lost the ability to be, let's say, civilized. When a creep, and that's what Peter Fonda is, makes a threat against the president's son that he should be locked up and taken away, thrown in a cage with pedophiles, that's a very serious thing to say. It threatens kidnapping, it threatens the health of their child, etc. And that should be taken seriously and investigated by the Secret Service. But for free speech and someone wanting to listen to a Spanish station, Spanish music, whatever, that's free speech in America. And I don't think either one of us can say something negative about that.
Well, the negative thing that I can say about it is the communication is one-sided because the Spanish people, a lot of them do not speak English. So they're only hearing one side of what's going on. That
part is true. That part is true. But then they would come back and say, "Oh, that Zeb Bell, he's a right winger, extremely conservative person, and boy, we can't stand him." I guess they could say the same thing of me. But in a free speech society, I'm going to keep talking about what I think is right, what I think is wrong, what I think is black or white, etc. And you know what? They have the right to do the same.
Well, I do too, but we don't know what their plans are or anything because they speak a different language than we do.
Well, this is one thing.
I have a good friend that's Hispanic, and we don't have any problems.
I'm not going to cater. I'm glad you brought that part of it. I'm never going to cater to someone speaking anything other than English in this United States. I think it's a frivolous waste of time, effort, and money to provide all the translators and provide all the different written material in various languages, etc. I honestly maintain that if you're here, you doggone sure better put the effort into learning English as fast as you can pick up the book. And And I agree with you on that point.
Okay, now if I was the President of the United States, I'd put an end immediately to caucuses, like black caucuses, Hispanic caucuses, Democratic caucuses. Hell, they're there. They're supposed to be on our side getting the job done for us.
I could never...
in their little bitty groups.
Yeah, I could never understand here in America, as of late, if the whites do something and they're called racist because they didn't include everybody, how can they have a black chamber of commerce? How can they have various other factions? And the reverse psychology about racism isn't applied to them. I could never understand that.
Well, if you look at Chicago, it will shed a little more light on it, because this is where the evil people get together and try to bring chaos and confusion to the city and the whole United States.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I...
kind of a caucus.
Yeah. If I were a resident of Illinois anywhere close to Chicago right now, I'd be looking for a change of real estate. I think that city is going to blow sky high in the not-too-distant future. Keith, I hope you're feeling better this morning. Love to see you at Lunch Bunch. I got to run.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you, my friend. I want to remind you some of the great merchants over in Rupert that are advocating you should come on over and be a part of their Rupert 4th of July celebration. It's going to be a lot of fun. Magic Valley Carpet, 613 D Street in Rupert. They're just off the square. All your flooring needs, carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminates, tile, everything in their installation is guaranteed. Magic Valley Carpet in Rupert. And Haskin Insurance Service, Absitively, 629 Fremont Street in Rupert. My goodness, the number to call, and remember, 436-4141. And they wish all of their customers and friends and families have a great 4th of July holiday. And don't forget, they've got all your insurance, too. Home, auto, farm, life, health, everything Haskin Insurance Service in Rupert. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget, on Tuesdays, we have at 9:47 the Stotz Equipment, your John Deere dealer, Ag Minute. I am so high on those people, Vic and the rest of the crew at 119 Overland and Burley, featuring agriculture and the people and events you need to know about right here in the Magic Valley, thanks to Stotz Equipment Ag Minutes, your John Deere dealer. All right, your turn. Give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. In other news, do you remember that woman, that frizzy-haired woman, Rachel Dolezal? You remember her? She thought, suddenly in her life, that she was a black woman. And remember the video where a reporter asked her, do you feel that you're an African-American woman? And she said, after a long pause, I don't understand that question. Rachel is not very bright. We found that out. But Rachel Dolezal said all of a sudden that she believes that even though she was born to white parents, that she was a black woman. Well, she's in a little trouble right now this morning, and she's up on charges of welfare fraud, that she could get 15 years in prison. Now, basically, she had her 15 minutes of fame with all the news media and the interviewers and the networks trying to get a hold of her because of her sudden transition to another race. But now she is in a heap of trouble on welfare fraud. She pleaded not guilty, but like I said, some of the facts regarding this case and what she did and what she says she did not do don't jive. And like I said, poor little Rachel, she might be curling her hair in an 8x12 cell. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call on the landline. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan. Good morning, Juan. It's going to be on the program with us later on this morning. 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin with Eli and the Nampa location. Don't forget, they've got everything over there. All your skid steers, they got your walker mowers, they've got everything available, equipment rentals and retail equipment sales. And if you need even a coffee pot, they've got those for rent too. I'm telling you, they are there to serve you. And if you're not sure how to run the equipment, they got a big old sandbox out behind. They'll teach you. Barry Equipment and Rental. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and Nampa location, Barry Equipment and Rental. Your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear about the sick, perverted atheists in Ocala, Florida? Now, I'm going to give you a little gist on what happened down there 4 years ago. 4 years ago, a pastor and his church congregate members and other members of the city in Ocala, Florida, got together and they held a prayer vigil after there had been a in-town drive-by shooting. And this pastor and his members of his church and members of the community got together, about 600 of them, and they held a prayer vigil so that they could let everybody know they were united in prayer, and they were united for peace in the city of Ocala, Florida. That sounds doggone nice, doesn't it? That they would take the leadership position to get together at a candlelight vigil and pray and absolutely be sincere with each other that they were praying and hoping for peace in their city. But the atheists in that area, oh, they went nuts. Oh, my goodness. They started tearing out their hair and they started screaming, "You can't do that. Why, you can't have a prayer vigil. You've got to stop that." And they filed a lawsuit against the pastor and his church, and the judge, who, if you want to call him a judge, agreed with the atheists and said that the pastor and the members of the church and the community members broke the law. Unlawful assembly. I don't know about you, but I have the personality that if somebody told me that I couldn't pray or I can't have a prayer vigil, I don't care if it's in Murtaugh, Idaho, or if it's in Boise, or if it's in Ocala, Florida, and we're praying for the decency of our community, and we're praying for the health and safety of our community, and a bunch of atheists say that that's unlawful and they file suit, we're going to do it all the more. It's like that real estate company back in Ohio that they were told they had too many American flags up as they were honoring Flag Day. And so the owner of the real estate company said, "Okay, you're going to sue me? You're going to file suit against me?" "Yeah, we are," said the city. "Good." And he went out and bought hundreds more and put them up. That's the attitude when you're doing something that is right, something that is a benefit to the community, something that's a benefit to mankind. Never back up. You just go forward and you do it more. Don't give me this garbage. "Well, somebody thinks that's against the law," or "the atheists feel bad because they're going to file suit," and some ditwit judge says that because of unlawful assembly, you can't do that, and I'm going to make sure you don't do it again. Do it anyway. The 600 people that were there for that prayer vigil, they had an uplifting experience, many of which lived in the same area as to where the shooters lived, and it absolutely was a benefit to the entire community. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. I think the big problem that the Republican Party has is they're going about a kinder, gentler way of life. People have them pegged as weaklings.
I agree with that.
When you're dealing with the Democrats, you better turn a little bit on the animal side, or you're going down.
Tony, why should the party in power in the House and the Senate and in the Oval Office, I'm just going to be very blunt, who cares what the Democrats say? I don't believe in stepping around them. I believe in stepping over them.
Well, you're absolutely right, and unless the people in the the Republican Party start getting more aggressive, the Republicans are going to end up with more and more people like Paul Ryan and McConnell and the rest of those weak-kneed bunch.
Why is there...
Yeah, they're really aggressive and don't care whose Democratic feelings they hurt.
Why is there in this country, more so than ever before, a timidity, a fear, a being scared of doing what's right and what you believe in? And Davy Crockett is attributed from way back in the 1830s of saying something that they held this quote next to his name for a long time. Be sure you're right, and then go ahead. And that's exactly what the Republicans need to do. If they think they're right, do it. Who cares what the Democrats and Schumer think?
You know, because of their lackadaisical attitude, this country is being overrun with all these foreigners that are pouring in here,
Yep.
and they're turning our cities into powder kegs.
I couldn't agree more.
What's going to happen?
I couldn't agree more. We are seeing, and I'll go back to what I said at the beginning of this hour. I stand behind my comments. I'll be criticized. That's okay. I can take it. I think we're on the verge of civil chaos, civil war. You call it what you want to in this country, because the Democrats, the liberals did not get their way. They're not going to get their way for some time in the future, and they are absolutely drawing the last straw as to what to do. And civil unrest is what they're going to try.
Well, unfortunately, we've got a Hollywood, and I think during the 40s, Hollywood has been controlled by the Communist Party, if I'm not mistaken. And I see that same thing controlling Peter Fonda and that rest of that bunch that's causing so many problems.
You know, Tony, think about it this way, too. I don't know how many in your neighborhood agree with you. I don't know how many in your neighborhood disagree with you. But people are not speaking out. People don't have the guts to stand up and stand tall for their convictions today. And that's why we've got a bunch of mealy-mouth politicians that won't stand for anything.
Well, people don't speak up. You start losing your rights. You got nobody to complain about it except you know.
Absolutely.
You got nowhere to go. You've caused the problem because you kept your mouth shut.
Tony, I really appreciate your calls. God bless you and Mary, and have a wonderful sun-filled weekend.
Yes, and I hope everything's okay at home.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay.
Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to do a weather forecast. I really would like you folks to respond to that because, you know, think about it. I've talked to a lot of politicians on the national level, and there doesn't seem to be a commitment to be tough and do for their constituents. Honestly. And I point the finger at our own from the state of Idaho. Be tough. Slam your boot on the desk. Pound your fist on the desk. Demand that things are done in a better fashion for America. This, with your tail between your legs, doesn't cut the mustard. Caller, I'm going to ask your patience. I've got to get this weather in real fast. I will be right with you, I promise. Weather forecast brought to everybody by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And they are located right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room. Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, they are committed to your hearing health. Please call them at 312-0957 for an appointment today. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's another gorgeous day here in the valley. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are expecting sunny skies for today. Winds out of the east right around 10 miles an hour, becoming west by the afternoon. Could have gusts as high as about 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 84. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 53. Tomorrow, another gorgeous day. Sunny, winds out of the west right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 81. Mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 53. By Saturday, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, but still mostly sunny skies with a high of 75. For Sunday, sunny skies and 80, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny and 87. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they're expanding their services to help small children who are having hearing problems, even infants. Please call the best serving you. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids at 312-0957. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. This is Shelley Holy calling, and thank you for taking my call. I'm going to respond to that incident in Florida you just described, and I'll tell you what, I am really ticked off that judge even favored the atheist side of the story. In fact, that judge was illegal in his judgment call because our First Amendment right says the right of the people peaceably to assemble. We have a right to assemble peacefully and or pray or whatever reason, we have a right to assemble. And those people out there that call themselves Christians, it's not time to be lukewarm. We are either for Christ or against him. There's no middle ground. And if you're lukewarm, you're going to be spewed out of God's mouth. And I have the guts to tell those atheists they need to repent. And this whole nation needs to repent and try to do some serious soul searching. Thank you.
I appreciate your call, and you know what? I can't argue with your opinion. I agree with it. Thank you very, very much. We need people to. Thank you. We need people to stand up and not be middle of the road. You're not going to get anywhere by being middle of the road. Left leg on the left side, right leg on the right side. Oh, gee. I don't want to offend anybody. How many times, honestly, have you folks heard somebody say that? Oh, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to say anything that somebody, they might not like me. Really? You know, I guess you can tell I haven't worried about that. But I am going to tell the truth. And I am going to keep the stories on my program verified. And if the shoe fits, wear it. Right now we've got a major problem in this country because of non-commitment to trying to make our society better. We've lost the values of America. I don't care what anybody says. I heard somebody say the other day, oh, it's not that bad. Really? It's not that bad? I don't care what you're talking about in our society. It is going to heck in a handbasket. Whether it's our absolute lies and baloney from our politicians or people trying to limit our free speech, whether it's the gay, lesbian, and transgender movement in this country, whether it's somebody trying to take our guns, whether it's spying on another person through the government, whether it's mass murders. I don't care what the problem is. We've lost our sanity and our right in this country to do the right thing in the right situation. And then people say, well, I don't want to offend anybody. Why not? Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Please, I want to remind everybody quickly about the Bennett Boys Auction Service. They're going to have a big sale on Saturday over in Hagerman, and the address, 5422 North, 400 East of Hagerman. Watch for the signs. It's going to start at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. This coming Saturday, June 23rd, the Hill Living Estate Auction. Pickups, tractors, farm equipment, antiques, lots of antiques. Shop equipment, tools, all kinds of miscellaneous, even diving equipment. Bennett Boys Auction Service, Joe Bennett and the crew, 539-0111. The Bennett Boys Auction Service, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they do sell them all. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, I'm going to tell the truth. The best value for lunch is at the Senior Junction any day of the week. Tomorrow, today we're having sloppy joes and all
was already, but it's good.
But it's going to be good.
Finger steak
Okay.
and all the trimmings.
All right, Joe Taylor, he is the head man. He's the Chef Boyardee of the great Senior Junction on Overland. Joe, God bless you. Have yourself a great lunch.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Joe Taylor, amazing man right there. Amazing man for what he's accomplished and what he's done. Thank you, Joe. Seriously, why are people today... And I know that there's a lot of do-gooders out there that are going, oh, well, now, Zab, you don't want to make waves. You don't want to make people not like you. Why? Everybody should just get along and be wishy-washy? No. That's the problem we're going through right now. Stand up. Stand for your convictions. Stand for your beliefs. I just don't understand people. I don't. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't know if you heard or not, but Superman is now living in Idaho. Yeah. Superman is now living in Idaho in St. Anthony. And he is a reserve policeman. Who am I talking about? Yeah, I'm talking about Superman. Dean Cain. The actor that played Superman in the movie is a reserve policeman now in St. Anthony, Idaho. And I'm sure you probably heard about this. He wanted to come to Idaho and become a policeman so that he could work with the kids and have some positive community effect. And so the St. Anthony Police Force put him on as a reserve policeman, and he's up there. So, barring any kryptonite, Dean Cain is living as a policeman in Idaho and traveling all over the country, too. Still doing a lot of movies and still doing a lot of speaking, etc. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, and if you're not aware, today is the longest day of the year. I don't mean, I got to work so long. No, it's the longest day for sun. I believe the sun actually will be up for, 15 hours today, because it is the first day of summer and the longest day of our calendar year, and everything goes to heck tomorrow and starts shortening up, and then we can start saying, oh my goodness, the days are getting shorter and winter's right around the corner. No, I'm not going to say that. I want you to remember our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and they've got all the tires and all the service and all the great people that if you want to go on a road trip, stop in and see them. My goodness, they've got all the different tread designs, all the different tires for your cars and your pickups and your SUVs. Need trailers for your camp trailer? They've got them, horse trailer, boat trailer. All you need to do is stop in there and check it out. They are so good and so knowledgeable, and they can help you with the best in brake service, the best in front end alignments, and of course the best of shocks and struts and batteries. I'm telling you, all 7 locations serving you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. One final reminder here that Lunch Bunch is going to be today at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. And we have a lot of fun, and there's a lot of good people, and there's a lot of joking and kidding, and we give away a lot of different gift certificates from Walmart and Smith's Foods, Hanson's Market, Hanson Mortuary, I'm so sorry, and Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Pomerell Place, Denny's. Just a lot of fun, and we thank all those great people for their donations. But it's going to be at 11:30 today at, of course, Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, 611 North Overland in Burley. We would love to see you there. Coming up next hour, we've got the Chamber Report with the rapid fire Sarah Seymour. She's all over like a water bug. And then we've got at 9:17 the Cassia Regional Hospital. Meet some great people over there. We're going to visit with Jeff at Lee's, and then Rita Ramsey's on the air. Holy smokes, we got a big hour coming up. Don't you go away. But right now, we're going to turn it back over to Wheels in our main studio as we lead up to CBS News. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh my goodness, here we go. Hour number 2 on a Thursday, June 21st. First day of summer. Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. And of course, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Wheels, may we please have this good word for the Silver State Stampede.
PRCA Rodeo Action thunders into Elko, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. 3 big days for the 2018 Silver State Stampede. Nevada's oldest rodeo is family entertainment at its finest. This PRCA rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders going head-to-head in one of the toughest sports in the world. Action kicks off Friday, July 13th with mutton busting, a delicious tri-tip dinner, the Calcutta, Old West bronc riding, PRCA rodeo action, the world-famous Ring of Fear, and dancing to the Jeff Palmer Band. Gates open on Friday and Saturday at 4 with mutton busting starting at 6 and rodeo action starting at 7. And on Sunday, gates open at noon with mutton busting at 1 and the rodeo action starting at 2. Tickets on sale now at the Boot Barn and the Elko Chamber office. Rodeo action at its finest. With the 2018 Silver State Stampede, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. For more information, contact SilverStateStampede.com.
Thank you very much, and don't forget to our friends at Hanson Mortuary, Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, and they want to remind you about that great, big, delicious July Veterans Breakfast they're going to have on the 4th of July, right before the big parade over in Rupert. Oh my, yes, everybody's invited. Yeah, come on in. It's going to be great. Wonderful food, super nice people. That's the morning of the 4th of July, right there at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Remember, Joel Heward and his staff and family serving you and your family always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Call them today at 436-5636, and Joel Heward also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Right now, look out, stay clear, get out of the way. Here she comes, the world's fastest water bug, Sarah Seymour at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
I'm getting out of your way. Go ahead, take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out to our Mini-Cassia Scramble for Commerce yesterday. We had such a great time at the River's Edge Golf Course. We got tons of sun and played some golf, and just thank you to everyone who sponsored and played. We had a great day.
Okay.
Also, thank you to everyone who attended our ISU Credit Union Business After Hours party at the ISU Credit Union Burley branch. It was catered by Lulu's. We had a great turnout. Thank you, everyone, for being there as well.
Okay.
We've got some great things coming up this week. Today kicks off the regatta. We have the show and shine on the square in Rupert from 6 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. Come and check out all of the boats. Tomorrow, Shaylee and I from here at the Chamber will be at the boat parade at Smith. So if you'd like to come over and meet us and see the boats, we'll be doing that, and followed by the parade. Tomorrow kicks off the race pre-registration, and then the races are Saturday and Sunday with National Anthem at 9:50. You can get those tickets pre-sale here at the Chamber, so come see us. We'd love to sell you some tickets.
All righty.
Today is the last day of the demo day from Idaho Water Sports at Maury's Steakhouse. If you're interested in that, go ahead and contact Maury's or Idaho Water Sports. And tomorrow, the Burley branch of First Federal is having their Customer Appreciation Day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go over and see them for hot dogs and ice cream, and check them out on bankfirstfed.com.
You know, I got to ask you, Sarah, is your husband the opposite personality as you are? I mean, is he kind of a laid-back, slow, easy-going guy?
Yeah, for the most part, he is.
I'm telling you, I feel sorry for the guy because the way you are and the way you keep moving, I bet you have to buy him about a case of deodorant. He's in a sweat all the time.
Oh, that's great. You know, I'm a little tired today, so I might be a little off my beat, but we're still going to get her done.
Yeah, but you off your beat means you're still leading the pack by 13 lengths.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
What else is going on at the Chamber of Commerce?
We have got so many things. I would just encourage you to go to our website, minikajachamber.com, check out our calendar, add your own events to our calendar. We'd love to get those community events up there. We'd love to see you. Come into our visitor center. We're here Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can call us anytime, help us, or come on in. We'll help you plan your day trips from this area, and we'd just love to see you and talk to you.
Sarah, real quick, do you get a lot of people this time of the year, I'm sure you do, that come in and they're from foreign countries? What foreign countries have you had come into the chamber so far?
We do. We've actually had people from the Netherlands and Belgium and different European countries come in lately, and it's just so interesting to see them and have them be so engaged in our community and just enjoying our natural wonders here. It's been so great to meet those people.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to cover this morning?
You know, we just have so much going on, and I'm really just trying to find my spot today. It feels like I haven't seen my office in a week. But if you have questions about anything, just come on in here to the chamber. We will do our best to answer them. Call us anytime, 208-679-4793. And just come on in. If I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, I would love to meet you.
I'll tell you what, she's a whirlwind and a great lady. Sarah Seymour at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb. Have a great day.
I will. Thank you. Woo! Get out of her way. She's coming through. She does a great job. Thank you. Let's take a look here really quick. I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Ark Animal Hospital. I had that right in my hand, and I placed it someplace. There it is. The lost is found. Ark Animal Hospital with Dr. Bill, Dr. Jordan, the whole crew. They really, really take care of your pets and your livestock. Now, from itty-bitty kitty cats all the way up to horses, I mean, they're a mixed animal practice. And they can take care of all your livestock and your pets. And believe me, they want to have the best of health for your animals. So please remember the number, 678-1177. I'll repeat it, 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Super people that really, really care. Get a hold of them today. They have the warm hearts for the cold noses at Ark Animal Hospital. Wonderful, wonderful people. In just a few minutes, we're going to have our Cassia Regional Hospital meeting on the air with some really, really nice people. I'm impressed. Boy, am I impressed with the folks that work over there, your friends and neighbors. Don't forget, too, on Tuesdays, we have Vicky's Country Garden. And Vicky's on the air with us Tuesdays at 9:30, talking about everything that grows, your gardening, and then, of course, making all the improvements to your property and everything. Oh, she's celebrating 21 years in business. So for any kind of questions about gardening or flowers, whatever the case might be, get a hold of us on Tuesdays at 9:30. And Vicky's Country Garden, open right now to serve you at 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Number to call, 438-5663. Nice lady, and we always look forward to talking to Vicky. Let's see, what else have we got cooking here? Lunch Bunch will be at 11:30 today at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, 611 North Overland in Burley. And again, our thanks to all of our sponsors for the gift certificates we're going to draw for. Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Pomerell Place, and Denny's. Thank you very much. I probably won't have a lot of time to remind you about this later, so I better do it right now. Gary Shoresman and Modern Woodmen of America, they're going to have an event at the Rupert Elks starting at noon on this Saturday, the 23rd. It's a benefit for the DeMary Library and Minidoka County Museum. There's going to be a light lunch and then a very informative PowerPoint put on by Gary Shoresman about Camp Rupert, and I absolutely urge you. And then at 2 p.m. they're going to have an auction to raise funds. Gary Shoresman, Modern Woodmen of America, with this event at the Rupert Elks this Saturday. Don't you miss it. And another thing I don't want you to miss, too, are friends at Let's Ride. Holy moly, Let's Ride with Nick and Randy and the whole crew, located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. This is fantastic weather to get up in the hills and just enjoy the beauty, the scenery, and the weather of southern Idaho. So be sure and check out all the ATVs, 0% financing right now, financing available, all the watercraft, everything. Great accessory department and a super service department at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. You stop over and see them today because that's where the fun is sold. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have another very interesting and informative meeting with our friends at Cascia Regional Hospital. Wheels, if you would, please.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cascia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cascia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cascia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cascia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cascia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care, close to home. Right now, more of the very interesting and informative people connected with Cascia Regional Hospital. We're talking to Melinda Williams with Actually Intermountain Home Care and Hospice. Good morning, Melinda, and tell us a little bit about what you do serving the Magic Valley.
Good morning, Zeb. Yeah, I am the nurse administrator with Intermountain Home Care and Hospice. So what we do is we provide in-home care for those that really find it difficult to make it to either the hospital, clinics, or their doctor's offices. We are able to bring that service to them.
So somebody gets home from like a surgery or recouping from a heart attack or some kind of an accident. How do they go about getting a hold of you and finding out about your service?
So it really needs to come through their doctor. They just need to get with their doctor and say it's challenging to get out. And then their doctor can give us an order to go in and evaluate. We provide nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy in the home. So they just need to coordinate that need with their doctor.
Now, when they do this, are they concerned about the cost factor? Do they know about whether it's covered by insurance? Can you give us some information on that?
Sure. So it is our regulations. We have to discuss insurance with the patients up front. So our very first meeting with you, you'll know. Medicare covers the home health benefit at 100%. Now, if you have an Advantage plan, my apologies, if you have an Advantage plan, you may have a deductible, and we try to help the patients work through that and know up front what costs they may have.
You know, a lot of people probably, when they have a surgery or an accident, they think, oh, my goodness, I don't know what I'm going to do. And the doctors are saying, well, you got to do this exercise, etc. How does everything come together for the patients? What's kind of a schematic so that they can know to call you, contact you folks, and understand that they're going to have capable care?
So we meet with the patient within 24 hours of discharge, and we go over the plan that the doctor would like them to follow, including their exercises, and we reinforce all of that teaching. But again, it is our drive that we're out there within 24 hours, so there's not that gap from when you're in the hospital to being in the home.
Okay, what else about your service do you want folks to know? I mean, Intermountain Home Care and Hospice, it sounds like they're never really alone and there's always help right around the corner.
So there is help around the corner. It is considered an intermittent help, so we can't stay in the home for long periods of time, anything more than an hour. But but we have a nurse on call 24 hours a day, and our nursing team is local. You don't have to wait for someone to come from an outside city in to take care of you. So we do really, for Intermountain Home Care and Hospice in Burley and Minidoka areas, we like to be able to get to you within 20 minutes.
Melinda, what about the exercises? Let's say that someone is recouping from a broken arm, a broken leg, whatever, or maybe a surgery. How do you go about establishing the criteria for what needs to be done to help that patient regain their strength and their health?
So we have very skilled physical therapists that work closely with the doctor to determine if there's any cautions that they need to take, and then they work with the patient to establish a home exercise program that will help keep their strength and ability and increase their flexibility.
Now, on the exercises, do you primarily, I know you work with the patient naturally, but do you do a lot of work with the spouse or someone in the family to help them and make sure that the exercises are done properly?
Absolutely. If the patient needs assistance, we always seek out family support. Someone will heal better if family is involved.
So how often do you check on the folks on a per weekly basis?
It really is up to the needs of the patients, but routinely nursing is about twice a week. Physical therapy is 3 times a week, depending on what they've got going on, and so forth. So it really just depends on if they need more. We give them a little bit more services, but the idea is to make them as independent as possible.
Now, I would imagine the people that do the home health care, they really have to know everything from A to Z. Can you give us a little explanation of what kind of people work for Intermountain Home Care and Hospice?
So our staff has to be highly skilled. As you pointed out, they are alone in the home. So we have nurses that are experts on wound care, diabetes management, CHF, congestive heart failure, and COPD, and they pull that all together. We also have a huge education department that we can pull resources from and really work together as a team to take care of that patient.
Okay, now you said working together as a team, and I'm assuming that Cassia Regional Hospital and Intermountain Home Care, you're a team working together. Give us a little explanation about the teamwork involved in both entities.
So yes, we are a one Intermountain. So we work with the physicians that work in the clinics. We work with the discharge planners at the hospital. We work to ensure that there's a safe transition to home, and then we get them back into their physician's office. When the patients are ready and they've now met their exercise program at home and they're able to get out, we even have transitioned back to the outpatient therapy so they can even further their flexibility and strength.
Now, you know, it takes, I would imagine, a very special person to become a representative of Intermountain Home Care and Hospice because they see so many things, like you just mentioned a minute ago. It might be a surgery with a wound that has to be dressed, all different things like learning how to walk, balance problems. Holy smokes, it's hard to find people like that, isn't it?
It is, and so I just reach out to them and keep them while I have them. It really does take a special person to want to do home health, and you know pretty much immediately if they're going to work out in this field.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about where you're located as in conjunction with Cassia Regional. Give us kind of a background. If people have questions listening right now, phone numbers, people to contact, that type of thing.
So you can always call the hospital and ask for home care. They can transfer us. Our direct line here at Intermountain Home Care is 678-8844. We are not located in the hospital. We are just around the corner on Main Street between Smith and Stokes in a little shopping area. Again, my name is Melinda Williams. You can always ask for me, or our office coordinator is Nikki, and we're both able to answer any questions you have.
One final thought, Melinda. I kind of maybe have glossed over on something, and I don't want to forget anything. Are there any other finer points about Intermountain Home Care and Hospice that you, Melinda Williams, want to bring out?
Yeah, so I just want to stress that we are a local team, and we are here to support the community. And we strive to make sure that that patient's needs are met. So we even take all insurances, including Medicaid.
I'm very, very fortunate to know all of these people. Connected with Cassia Regional Hospital, we've been talking with Melinda Williams with Intermountain Home Care and Hospice. Thank you for being on the program this morning.
Thank you.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
Oh my, without further ado, let's go to the phone line, and there he stands with a pair of Bermuda shorts on and sunglasses, wearing sunscreen. Jeff at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, how are you?
Give me 1 second, sir. They're still trying to find him.
Trying to find him? Okay. I hope they do after that lead-in. We're going to be talking, you never know. We're trying to find Jeff over at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, and we're down to the last couple of split seconds here to get him on the air, and hopefully they can. Did they find him yet, Wheels? Now I can't find Wheels.
They said that he had left the building to go out and do something else, so they're trying to give me his cell phone.
Oh, well, we're out of time, and I'm going to have to forego it till next week, and I'll have Deanne call, and we'll take care of that. Thank you, Wheels. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right now, we'll give him a little plug here real quick, though. Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Jeff and the whole crew, they got everything over there for your comfort, like the recliners and the sofas and the love seats, all your furniture, all your mattresses. I mean, this is the place to go for the beautification and the comfort in your home. Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see those great folks today. While we have just a moment here before we go to the lovely Rita on our program, I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and so much more. They're very dedicated and responsive to your needs and very accessible. So all you need to do is call, make the appointment at 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. There to serve you. Let me see, as we've got some other things I wanted to mention. Later on this morning, at 10:30, we have just confirmed that Josh with Sportsman's Warehouse, he's out fishing again this morning. Yes, sirree. Every Thursday at 10:30, Josh from Sportsman's Warehouse, he is the main man of their fishing department. He is going to be on the air at 10:30 this morning. He's going to be standing in a stream someplace or out in a boat someplace, and he's going to be calling us and telling us what kind of fish he's after this week and what kind of tackle and everything, and talk about all the goodies right there at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. That's coming up at 10:30 this morning. Then I'm going to get in the pick-em-up truck and gallop down to Denny's Restaurant. And, of course, it's our lunch bunch day at Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. And we look forward to seeing you there. 11:30 this morning, Zeb's Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant. Let's see, I had one other quick note that I was supposed to get on real quick, and it was about yes, here it is, Rupert United Methodist Church. And they're planning on a Great Vacation Bible School, Rolling River Rampage. It starts next Monday, June 25th, through Friday, June 29th, 9 in the morning to 11:30 a.m. in the morning. For preschool through 5th grade, registration at 8:30 each day, and that's at the Rupert United Methodist Church at 605 H Street in Rupert. For more information, call 436-3354. Let us go to the phone line right now, and a beautiful lady that I'm sure has got a recliner out on the back porch of the business, enjoying the sunshine. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
I'm good. Maybe I better run out there and see if that recliner is really there.
You know something, Rita? Don't you, like me, feel like after listening to all that's going on every single day in the news with the liberal Democrats and the chaos in this country, don't you feel just like running away sometimes?
Yes, actually, I have done that because I turn to HGTV and just watch them build something instead of all the controversy.
I got to ask you, Donald Trump was not, in a lot of people's opinions, a refined and elegant choice for president, but this man is accomplishing a lot. And some of the things that he's adhering to are the laws that have been set prior to his taking office, which include the Obama rules and regulations on the border and the taking care of the families and or the children. This man is not doing anything wrong. He was doing exactly what Obama was doing, only to a limited degree. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, when that law was put into place, and it was during the Obama administration that it was beefed up and said, this is what we'll do, and you didn't hear any of the Democrats screaming and hollering about it, and you didn't hear Crapo complaining about it, and it kind of irritates me that all of a sudden now that's the only thing that they can think of that they can scream and cry about, when it hasn't changed, and yet they don't want him to go forward with any kind of an immigration bill. They don't want to do anything else, and for sure they don't care what happens to our children. Or if I'm a bad mom, they don't care that my kids would be taken from me. They just care about something to bellyache about.
You know, this situation, I said earlier this morning, if you were listening, and I'm going to stand behind my words, I believe that this illegal immigration problem and what's going on at the border could be a main reason for a lot more problems with civil unrest and almost a civil war in this country. Am I exaggerating?
No, that's what they're trying to do. You've got all of the people on the left that they're just hoping that they can stab something enough times that it really starts bleeding and takes off. That's the whole big problem. You and I know that if the Senate or the Congress, the President or anybody else just use common sense, they would say, we are not going to accept any kids, anybody who comes across that border that is not a family and they're not documented, they're going to be turned back, period, the end. And they can hold them in Mexico, and it would stop the flow right then. These kids that they're talking about are kids that have been kept in captivity, whose parents just sent them, either with illegal drug lords, that type of thing, to carry drugs and so on and so on, or that it was like, well, if I send them across myself, then I can hurry and get across and we'll all be there. And so they had to detain the kids because the kids were little and they were by themselves. But, you know, I heard the other day, and I'm sure that everybody in the audience who's listening to the news this last week heard it said that there was a 14-year-old, either a 14 or 15-year-old girl, that when she came across the border, she had that abortion pill with her because her parents gave it to her before she left because they knew that she would be needing it before she got to America, because that's exactly what happens. So who in their right mind sends their children, anybody under 18, off without, them being escorted by those who are responsible, which is generally themselves, the parents?
I can't answer that because I've shook my head so many times over this issue. It's complete incompetency. These parents that call themselves parents aren't. Some of the children have been kidnapped. I mean, the whole issue is such that it's becoming a burden on the American public, a burden on this American president, and the left and the liberals and the Democrats, they are sitting back smiling saying, gotcha.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there was even a story that I pulled up a little earlier today that was about a parent who had sent a Down syndrome child.
Yes.
There was drugs in their backpack.
Yes.
That's all they're doing is trying to get rid of them. And if we would make a stand at the border and say, no more, you're not coming across, you can stay in Mexico, it would probably solve all of that. The Democrats wouldn't have anything to bellyache about in that regard, but it would also send a message to everybody south, you're not getting through.
Why are politicians saddling their horse and riding against Trump and blaming Trump on this children's issue when the pictures that were taken of children in cages took place 4 years ago under the Obama administration? But why are politicians, even some of our own, riding and charging against Donald Trump? I don't understand this.
Well, that was my point for bringing up Crapo's name. He's all of a sudden now, oh, you can't do this. Well, where were you a few years ago
That's
when
right.
this was all happening?
That's right.
It's all happening right now because they don't want to address the fact that there's a few things happening in Trump's world that would make him more popular. And in case anybody hasn't noticed, and I'm not the very biggest Trump supporter in the world, I haven't been. However, he's proving to be one of the people instead of one of Washington, and that's the main thing, is we need somebody there that's not one in Washington. And his rates are going up, his likability, his accomplishments, everything's going up. And you've got all of these people, the Democrats and then the news media, who are just totally ballistic, and it's like, well, let's start a different narrative and see if we can't focus. You know, it kind of goes back to that thing, well, look what's in my right hand, and meanwhile, the left hand is flagging through everything that they can while you're not looking.
You know, this situation, I just don't understand the late-night hosts on so-called comedy hours. I don't understand the broadcasters, the news media in general, the CNNs, ABC, CBSs, etc. They are so filled with hate and complete animosity against this administration. And then, what happened yesterday or in the last couple of days with a grade B movie actor, Peter Fonda, did you hear what he had tweeted?
I think he just wants to be in the spotlight, and what he did was absolutely despicable, and the presidential security ought to have him in a holding tank, questioning him, wanting to know, is he really a threat? And just hold him a little bit. Put him in some some kind of a thing where he can see what it's like to be when you're in jail.
Well, the thing is, though, look at the family. And I bet you that Henry Fonda, the father, is probably rolling in his grave right now. You had Hanoi Jane Fonda that saddled up her horse and rode with the North Vietnamese during the Vietnam War. You have now Peter Fonda, a grade B movie actor, only known for Easy Rider, that movie, and then coming out with a tirade against Trump's family and stating that Barron Trump, the son, should be ripped out of the White House and kidnapped and put in a cage with pedophiles. This doesn't go much lower than this, and I do not remember anybody on the right saying anything as vile and filthy against the Obama family.
You're absolutely right, and if you'll look back, and I would be really stretching it to see if somebody could really find a time when the little Obama girls were attacked verbally attacked by people who were, those bad Tea Party people or just GOP people, you'll find out that never happened because we are good people and we don't believe that that's the thing that needs to happen. We didn't even attack Obama as bad as Trump's been attacked, and he had so many things that they should have been attacking him on, starting with the Fast and Furious to the IRS, overreaches, and then on and on and on and on, Common Core, and I mean, it doesn't end. It just continues, and yet the right never did that kind of horrific stuff against them. I mean,
well, the right showed some class, Rita. They showed some class. And I said on my program, and I never will forget how criticized I was for it, I said that I did not like Barack Obama. Didn't like him as a man, did not like his ideology. I hated his politics. But you never heard me say anything vile or filthy or off color like the left is treating this first family.
Well, that's right. And, you know, the probably the worst thing that we did was verbally got up at Tea Party meetings and said, hey, we can't stand for this. Write your congressman.
That's right.
Learn the facts. Find out what's going on, and then talk about it.
I said on the radio yesterday, and I'd like to get your comment on this. I'm sorry. I said it on Tuesday, and I believe I'm right, that none of the politicians are talking about calling the leadership, if you call it that, in Honduras or El Salvador or anywhere else and saying, wait a minute, you know what? If you're going to send us your problems and they're going to cross our borders illegally and we're going to have this huge infiltration of people that are coming here on the public dole against the American taxpayer, we're going to stop sending you any aid money until you figure out, Honduras or El Salvador or whomever, how you can become responsible for your own citizenry. We're cutting off the aid money. I think that should happen.
Well, it absolutely should, and then we should say, and incidentally, if they get here, we're going to send them back COD, and you're going to have to pay the bill.
There you go. It's not going to happen, though, because we got a bunch of weak-kneed, absolutely cowardly politicians.
Well, we really do, and it just goes to prove that they're in Washington for one thing, and that's for them. That's not to do the people's business. That's not the way that the founders set it up. They're there for their very own reasons, whether it be money. Some of them it's not money because they've got plenty of money. Most of them it's just power and recognition because they've got everything else that they ever wanted. But it is absolutely not doing the people's business, and that's what they're there for, and that's why there needs to be a change.
Did you happen to catch any of the speech last night that at the rally in Duluth, Minnesota, Donald Trump, our president, they had to expand to a larger venue. They did not have enough seats, so they had to go to a larger venue in Duluth to get all the people in. Still, there were literally thousands outside watching on flat screen TVs. But I just about died laughing when Donald Trump got up there and started talking about the Democrats and how the Democrats, think they're the elitist in our society, the most powerful and the most knowledgeable. And then Trump says, but here I am, your president, and you, these thousands and thousands of deplorables that voted for me, and they raised the roof on the house. I mean, they really cheered being deplorables.
Well, you know, Trump's pretty smart in the fact that he will come and speak their language, which is really his language, because he's a regular person. I mean, he could not be an elitist and be doing what he's doing for as long as he's been doing it without it showing through. So he's basically a regular person who's had the ability and the opportunities to make a great deal of money and become, you know, known worldwide. And then, you know, come to places and speak the language. This is how he'll get people to come out and vote in the midterms, and hopefully to elect some GOP people so that he can keep on going with what he's doing. The big problem is most of the GOP don't really want him, so it's kind of like, well, we're just going to kind of hang back. But the one thing I did notice with that yesterday was that he had a protester there, and the way he handled it was absolutely genius, which he's done before. It's nothing different than he's done before, and that is say, okay, so there's one guy here that's protesting, and you can just head out of here and go back home to your mommy. She'll be waiting for you. It's obvious that you're one of those that, you know, and just kind of belittled him in that regard, and very likely was the case. And yet that will be the thing that the media focuses on today. And he even mentioned that, so when they started doing it, it was like, well, I told you that's what was going to happen. So he's so much further ahead, steps ahead of the media, in finding out what they're going to do and saying, hey, this is what they're going to do, so just, you know, beware. And then they look like dolts for following through with what he said that they would do. So I think that he's handling all of it in an exceptional way. The big thing is they don't want anything to go further with Kim Jong-un. They don't want to see that there's some kind of a thing happening. They want to just criticize everything, and so this is a way that they'll distract the person who doesn't really know what's going on, just kind of gets bits and pieces.
I couldn't agree more. Rita, stand by. I've got to do a weather forecast. I'll be right back. And the weather is brought to everyone this hour by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. And they urge you to really become aware there are new set of tax rates and there are changes in the tax laws and new deductions. You should get a hold of them today. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, and find out more about the new tax laws. Please, they're there to serve you with offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's another gorgeous day here in the valley. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are expecting sunny skies for today. Winds out of the east right around 10 miles an hour, becoming west by the afternoon. Could have gusts as high as about 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 84. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 53. Tomorrow, another gorgeous day. Sunny, winds out of the west right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 81. Mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 53. By Saturday, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, but still mostly sunny skies with a high of 75. For Sunday, sunny skies and 80, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny and 87. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gina. And be aware of the new tax rates and the new deductions with the new tax laws. Check with the folks that know and can help you. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. As I said, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for over 50 years with offices in Burley and Rupert. We're on the line with Rita Ramsey. And Rita, I've got to ask you, what did you think about that story out of Chicago last week about a school principal, an elementary school principal, that invited a known cop hater and a person that supports the absolute atrocious act of killing our police to speak at a career day at the school?
First of all, that principal is way out of line. And second of all, if the parents don't start screaming and hollering about something like that, I guess they get what they deserve. But this is the big problem with America is, and I've said this dozens of times, people are busy making a living and raising their kids and taking care of their communities and attending church and doing the kinds of things that mainstream Americans do. And so they're not paying attention to this kind of stuff, but it's about time. Actually, time is past. People need to get out and start screaming and hollering and boycotting and doing whatever they need to do to make sure that somebody hears their voice. And it can start with the school board. Those people that have children in that school or in that district should be just boycotting that school board, something terrific, to make sure that that doesn't happen again, and let everybody know that if this does happen again, you are going to have all kinds of stuff, because we're going to be asking for not only the jobs of the person who made the invitation, but the administrator of the school. And, oh, by the way, the school boards. We will ask you to be released as well.
Rita, why is it today, and I talked a little bit about this in the first hour, why are we so afraid as a population today to not say or do anything because we might offend someone? Honestly, if I were a parent, like you just said, of one of the children at that school, and they had this filthy, vile person standing up and telling kids how they should hate and dishonor police and then joke about killing them, I would have him by the nape of the neck and drag him on his rear end right out the front of that building. Things have got to be taken care of today. We've got to get to some sense of decency and moral value.
Well, we really do, and all of it is that you start standing up for things. What is the first thing that people do when they have something happen in their family and it just goes awry, and all of a sudden they stand up and say, this cannot continue, this is where we're going to go from here, and you start making some rules and laying down the law and saying, this is what's going to happen here. And if you don't, your family goes all to heck and you lose all your family and you've got all kinds of things happening. Otherwise, you just have to have a course correction, and that's what needs to happen in America, but it won't happen if people keep their mouths shut. They're going to have to jump up and down and scream and holler and make sure that those who are there to be listening will be listening.
Can you imagine about that story in Ocala, Florida, where in 2014 they had a drive-by shooting in the neighborhood in Ocala, Florida, and it devastating. It killed people, and it just destroyed lives in the community. A pastor got together with his church and other members of the community and organized a prayer vigil. Making a long story short, the atheists in Ocala, Florida got together and sued him, the pastor, and his church, and the judge went along with it and said it was unlawful assembly. What kind of nuts is this?
Well, that's when they should have stood up and given a lesson on the Constitution and the First Amendment. They should have had all kinds of information out there saying, you know what? We assembled within reason, and we have the right to do that, and you have the right to say what you say, but you know what? I'll bet you that you said that there was a lawsuit out of it. I bet it didn't go very far.
I just can't imagine why we're giving any credence or any value. Here's some people that got together in their community to do good and pray for the cessation of violence, and everybody come together. There were over 600 people, many of which lived in that area where that shooting occurred, church members, pastor, and they had a prayer vigil, and these absolute night crawlers, these atheists, sued, and the judge went along with it, and I'm sitting there scratching my head. This is complete insanity.
Well, that one directly should have gone to the Supreme Court, and I would be surprised if Justice Watch or one of those other groups didn't jump in there and help defend them and get that taken care of, because that's what they do. But it's ridiculous. These people will just do whatever they want until they're stopped. And as long as people will just bend over and say, okay, go ahead and kick me in the butt, they will just keep on doing it. You've got to stand up and say, you're not going to do that anymore, and I'm going to put my hands out and I'm going to punch you in the face if you just keep it up.
You know, and there you've touched on something, and we've only got about 2 minutes left, but I get criticized all the time. Oh, you're much too violent in your reactions. You know what? It's going to take maybe some violence in this country to put this ship back on a corrective course, because the left and their absolute elitism attitude, they are destroying the fabric of America. And if it comes down to a us versus them, Rita, it may have to happen.
Well, sometime or the other you have to, and you know we can talk about it, but anybody who's familiar with the New Testament knows what the Savior did when he came to the temple and there were money changers doing all kinds of bad stuff.
There you go.
He didn't sit by and say, oh, let's be meek. He said, you get out of here and you're not welcome here, and this is not going to continue in my Father's house.
Well, I'll tell you what, at least we're safe and secure in the state of Idaho because Superman moved to St. Anthony. Did you hear about that?
I did. I'm going to have to talk to my brother or to my son-in-law about that. That's where his parents live, where he's from, and we're going up there this weekend, actually.
Don't you dare carry any kryptonite in your purse.
I'll try not to.
Rita, God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for being on the show this morning.
Okay, thank you.
God bless. Thank you. Rita Ramsey, I always look forward to having her on the program. She gives a lot of political insight, and we appreciate it. Noticed a little fuzz on the line, but it seems like it's cleared up. Wheels, are we still getting that fuzz? Do we need to reestablish a line, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I was just about to text you and let you know that that'd probably be a good idea.
Is it still bad on the line right now?
Yeah, right now as we're speaking, it kind of feels like it overpowers both of us.
All right, I tell you what, I'm going to continue. I'm going to wrap up this hour, and then I'll call you back during the news, okay?
All right, sir, sounds great.
I want to remind everybody, if you're hungry and starving to death, don't forget I know some great places to go, and that's, of course, the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, my goodness, all the shakes, all the different delicious flavors, and the ice cream cones, and the famous Farmer Brown burgers, and the fries. Oh, my goodness, great for summertime enjoyment. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. How about Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland Overland and Burley. This is a fantastic place to just enjoy great food. I mean, the new pork burritos, the breakfast burritos, all that's delicious on the menu. You're going to love it. All your friends go there. You're going to love it. Try one of those breakfast burritos, scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce, all on a tortilla shell. Woo-hoo. Great eating. Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Burgers Etc. 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Medium spicy chicken combo with fries and drink, only $5. Are you kidding me? And every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner, only $5.99. Nice people. Super menu, and they really enjoy serving you at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, let's not forget Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness. On Fridays, the patio's open, and they've got live music on the weekends, and they got those delicious buffalo burgers and great, great salads. You need to get in there and talk to the nice people and enjoy the food and the entertainment at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. We are going to establish a new line. We got a little fuzz on this one, and at this juncture, we're going to send it back over to Wheels, and I will call back. Thank you, Wheels. Take it up to news at CBS. Oh, here we go. Thank you very much. Hour number 3 on this Thursday, June 21st, the first day of summer. Wow. I'm telling you, we've had a lot of fun so far. We're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Want to remind you that they have got just a gangbuster list of fun things going on at the 2018 4th of July celebration in Rupert with the theme America Let's Celebrate. Grand Marshals are Steve and Diane Scow, and it's going to start on Saturday, June 30th at 6 in the morning with a Christmas lighting breakfast on the square. Yes, it is. And then all kinds of fun things. Great music every night up in the gazebo on the square, and horse races, mutton busting, firecracker 500 lawnmower race, all of this and more at your Rupert 4th of July festivities. Don't miss a minute of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you there. And some of the great merchants that are saying, come on over to Rupert for the 4th of July celebration include Snyder Surplus Incorporated, 116 South, 200 West of Rupert. They've got everything over there, from pallet racks to wall lockers to ammunition to mess kits to hats to boots. I mean, it's all there. If you need it, you're probably going to find it at Snyder Surplus, 116 South, 200 West of Rupert. And Senator Kelly Anthon wants to invite everybody to the square during the 4th of July celebration. I mean, there really is something for everyone, whether you're talking about music or great food or all kind of festivities, fireworks, horse racing. Come on over to Rupert. Here's a man that really cares about his area and his community, Senator Kelly Anthon. And that's just a little bit about what's happening with the Rupert 4th of July celebration. Right now, we're going to get all set to go with our program that's featured every Thursday on Zebeth Ranch at this time, and it's Cassia County School Days. And we're very, very happy to have our 2 sponsors on the program with us, and they are A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, a family store, and they've got so much in there for you and your family. And you spend $25 and you get to choose a free book, and they've got all the games and the toys and the puzzles and the baby furniture, and like I said, the clothing. Oh my, stop in and see them today at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And then the other sponsor, of course, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Number to call and find out more about how they can save you money on your outpatient surgeries like colonoscopies and arthroscopic knee surgery and carpal tunnel surgery. All of this and much, much more. Call them at 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing bringing you school days in Cassia County. And I believe on the line with us right now is a lady that actually officially retired about, less than 30 days ago. Kyle Hodges, the Cassia County school nurse. Kyle, good morning. How are you? Is she there, Wheels?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, evidently they didn't have you turned up over at the studio. Kyle, I see that you have officially retired. We're going to miss you.
Oh, my gosh, I know. It's going to be a change of venue for me, but I'm pretty excited. We'll see what the next chapter holds for me, but thank you.
What about your tenure as the school nurse? Give us a little background as to how many years you served Cassia County, some of the highlights that you'd like to bring out, maybe some of the people you want to thank. Give us kind of a thumbnail sketch, would you please?
Oh, well, I have served the school district for 10 years. It's been my pleasure to work in our community and to visit all of the different areas in our county that our schools are situated. We have such a large county that it's been so exciting and fun for me to meet people from one end of the county to the next, and so it's just been great to be able to make friends in every corner of the area that I've covered. So some of the highlights, I think, have been safety. I really originally took the job because my passion is puberty classes, and nobody really wants to talk about puberty, but that was my favorite subject. And as I have worked in this capacity, safety has kind of been something that I have really felt like I was really drawn to when I started the projects of starting our AEDs in our school district. And fortunately, by doing that project, I was able to work with so many of the wonderful service groups across our county, and the Lions Clubs, and the Seroptimists, and the Kiwanis, and Rotary Clubs. All were wonderful to dig into their pockets and to generously donate money to purchase AEDs. And so that was something that I started early on in my position with the school district, and we put that very first AED in the King Fine Arts Building. And after that, I continued to just seek more and more donations. And as I ended my positions last month, we had 28 AEDs across our whole school district. So every single school now is covered with an AED. We have them in the majority of our outbuildings, so we have them in the district office and maintenance and transportation, and every one of our high schools now has them as a traveling athletic bag. So to me, I think raising the awareness for safety has been really something that I have taken great pride in the fact that I feel like I'm leaving our school in a little bit safer position. And everybody knows that the schools now are looking at things so much totally in a different light of thinking of safety and preparedness for making our schools safe in the event that we have lockdowns and those kind of things. So our staff now is taking the position of training staff so that we have people that are prepared in the event that we have emergency situations in our schools. And so that's something that I feel like I've been really proud of and felt like I accomplished something. Some of the other things that, I just think that there's so many people that I've been successful because of the fact I've worked with great individuals that have supported me. And as a nurse, schools are educational institutions, and so sometimes looking at those medical components is a little bit different. But I've had really open-minded individuals, and our superintendent and all of the administrators have been wonderful to support me in that. But that's something that I hope I'll continue to be able to do when I retire and be actively involved in other things that are safety-related, because those things continue on in our private sector all of the time, and things that are associated with FEMA or other emergency pieces. I think as I retire, maybe I can jump into a different arena. So
Kyle, let me ask you this. For all the years that you've been a nurse and in the business of medicine, if you will, when you sit back and you look at when you started to where things are today, are you happy with the upgrade, the uptick, and everything that's been done, or are there still quite a few shortcomings?
That's a good question. I think, some of the things specifically, and you and I have spoken about it a lot in the past, are immunizations and vaccinations and raising awareness of that piece. And I know that I'm leaving our school district in a little bit better position because our statistics are improving every single year. But, our state still remains one of those pockets of areas where our immunizations really still fall short. And that puts all of us at risk if everybody does not take that piece seriously. If we were to have an outbreak or a pandemic and people are not covered by immunizations, that puts the rest of our population at risk. And so I feel like that still is an area that we have a lot of work to do. But I think, in general, I think people are much more focused on that. It's more in the media, and I think we have more conversations about that subject, but that's still an area that we have a lot of work to do. And I feel like my position is going to be filled by somebody who does a great job. Lori Stimson has been hired, and I've worked with her the last 6 months. She had previously worked as a Minidoka school nurse, and I know she shares the same passions as I do about this job. And so I think that everybody will be in good hands knowing there's somebody else to continue on in the job.
Kyle, let me ask you this question about immunizations, and I'm not really too sure how to phrase this, but are parents today, in your opinion, less informed and less knowledgeable about the truth, or are they relying upon a lot of the scare tactics and scare information that's put out on the internet and by phony fake news?
I think probably both. I think there's still a lot of parent groups that are just swayed by that misinformation or false information that is out there on the internet. And that part really is a hard thing to change. And I think we really have done our best to try and educate parents to realize that if they file exemptions to not immunize their children, should we have an outbreak, their children really are at risk for
Absolutely.
that disease. And I think, I think that's the piece that they don't get. And I also don't think that people understand what these diseases look like, because we haven't seen polio for the majority of these parents now that have school-aged children. It's a disease that they don't even imagine. And, even like chicken pox, we have vaccines for chicken pox, so we just don't even see some of these diseases anymore that had previously been just a part of our childhood illnesses. And so I think that part makes it still a challenge to educate people. And, there are some states that are eliminating exemptions except for medical exemptions. And, there are certain families, certain children that cannot get immunizations because of compromised health. And, under those circumstances, we need to keep those children healthy by not allowing other people to just opt out of immunizations that are necessary. So
I think one of the problems I want to say is that everybody says, well, polio, well, that's a thing of the past. That's archaic. No, it's not. In many regions of the world, it's making a resurgence. And I, for one, and I know this sounds very egotistical when I say it, but it's the truth, I know more about polio than most anyone else because I had it. And I know the fear, and I know the absolute tearing apart families because of the resurgence of polio. And by not taking the immunizations, it's just absolutely blows my mind.
Right. Well, and I was at a conference recently, and I saw an iron lung, and those are just almost an antique medical piece of equipment, and people just don't even imagine that was actually a disease that
yes.
still was obviously around in your lifetime. So I just think a lot of things people just cannot imagine because it's not in their frame of reference.
Well, you know, the thing is, I want to mention, and thanks to Debbie Critchfield, wonderful, wonderful lady that's the communications officer for this Cassia County. She mentioned to me that the students need to be immunized before, I think it's the 7th graders, before they start school. You want to emphasize that a little bit?
Yes, and immunizations are required at different stages. I mean, everybody's well aware of the fact that infants get immunizations, but children are required to get immunizations, updated immunizations, when they enter kindergarten. And so there's a gamut of immunizations that are required for them to enter the school system at kindergarten. But because of the fact that immunizations wear off, the effectiveness over a time period wanes, and so the adequacy of that coverage from an immunization is not as strong as it should be. So the CDC reviews these and updates and changes the requirements periodically throughout time. And so 6 years ago or so, they changed the immunizations for 7th graders. And 7th graders have historically always needed an updated diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. But now they're starting to see we're having outbreaks on college campuses of meningitis.
Right.
So meningitis is also a required immunization for 7th graders. So all 7th graders are required to have those updated required immunizations. Whooping cough is now starting to show a resurgence, and so that's where that one was added as a 7th grade immunization for children. But meningitis is still an active disease that we're seeing in college campuses and when children are around living in large groups. And so that was where that second vaccine was required for 7th graders. So we send out reminders. Every single 6th grader has been reminded all this year when they get report cards. There's a little flyer in there for parents to remind them to get, required vaccines, and then hopefully it gives them enough time. We've given them reminders throughout the year that when it comes time to start that first day of school in 7th grade, they've gotten those immunizations updated, and we're not asking them at the last minute. But despite that, that's one of our big challenges in our schools, to remind these parents, even though we've given them plenty of notice, it's just something that we do give them some leeway, but we really expect parents to adhere to these required guidelines that are set place by the legislation for the state of Idaho.
Absolutely.
So it's we do state reports. Every single school across the state is required to submit a report in November saying how many children we have in our schools that are fully immunized, how many have filed exemptions, and how many are incomplete. And so those kids that have not gotten those kindergarten shots or the 7th grade shots fall into that category of incomplete.
Kyle, I want to wish you a very happy life from here on. I mean, being retired, I mean, the sky's the limit. Kyle Hodges, school nurse, and you have been a blessing to be on this program. God bless you, and thank you so much for your information.
Thank you very much for having me. I've enjoyed it.
All right, take care. Thank you so much. A wonderful lady right there on school days in Cassia County, brought to you by our two major sponsors, and that's, of course, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and, of course, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland. Number to call, 677-8888. She is a nice, very knowledgeable lady, and I appreciate it. Oh, I got to tell you about a great big sale that's going on, and then we'll visit with Juan over at Berry Equipment and Rental. Stand by. Hill Living Estate, managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service, this Saturday at 11 o'clock, June 23rd, located in Hagerman at 5422 North, 400 East. Look for the sale signs. This is going to be a ripping good sale. They're going to have pickups and tractors, and they've got farm equipment and trailers, and they've got antiques. Oh, yeah. Shop equipment, tools. They've even got diving equipment. My goodness, you better get over to this sale. Joe Bennett and the crew, the number to call, 539-0111. Bennett Boys Auction Service. There is no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Don't miss that. Right now, let's get on the phone line and go over to Barry Equipment and Rental, my old buddy, and that's Juan over there at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Juan, what's going on this morning?
Oh, just another beautiful day here in southern Idaho. We're trying to get some equipment now and have and out here to help everyone with their needs.
Now, tell us a little bit about the day in the life of Juan. What time do you start over there at Barry Equipment and Rental? What's an average day like for you?
Well, I get up, feed my cows, and I'm in the office by 7:30. Get the paperwork done, make sure everything's squared away, and then I hit the road and go talk to customers.
Now, when you go talk to customers and you've got a wide array of different things to offer, I mean, Walker lawnmowers and all the Bobcat excavators, kind of give us a list of some of the things that you have to talk about every day, and you've got to have all the knowledge on these items.
Oh, yeah, we had to talk about the full-size excavators, the loaders, the skidsters, everything that we have, and plus all the attachments available for them. The graders, the planers, the pallet forks, everything that you really can put on a skidster Bobcat has, and we can get it for you.
Now, you have to take a complete 2-year college course on bariology, so you know all the equipment, right?
Yep. It's a pretty tough course, but I got through it barely.
Now, how difficult is it? Kind of walk us through this a little bit. I had a gentleman call me one time not too long ago, and he says, if I rent the equipment, what do I have to do? What's the procedure in renting equipment?
Oh, it's easy. You can just show up with your pickup and your driver's license, and you just let us know what you want, and we'll set you up with it, explain it how it works, and we'll get you hooked up and get you on your way.
You know, one of the things that we joke about, but it's really the truth, at your location at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, out behind the store, you've literally got a sandbox to teach people how to run the various equipment. Now, what kind of equipment do you lease and sell that maybe people aren't familiar with and they need these lessons?
Well, that's everything. Everything that we have, we lease or sell. Now, with our Bobcat excavators, our Doosan excavators, loaders, everything that we have there, we can take you down to the pit and show you how to use it so you can get comfortable with it and comfortable doing your job. Now, for our walker mowers, we actually take our walker mowers to your house, let you mow your lawn, and show you all the features that come along with it to benefit you and your lawn.
Okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit. You've talked to me privately and on the air about Walker lawnmowers. What makes them so good?
All the features that come with it, the beautiful cut, the front side view, and the accessibility to the engine and everything. It's so easy to keep the maintenance on them, and they do leave a beautiful cut. I actually just learned how to checker my lawn, so I worked on it last week, and it came out pretty good.
Okay, now when you say that checker, are you talking about like they do at Major League Baseball parks across the United States?
Yeah, it will leave that type of cut.
How do they do that? Give us a real rough explanation if you could.
Well, the way the deck is set up, it's a true floating deck, so now you're going to have to try pretty hard to make that deck scalp. And the way that the rotation of the blades work, they cut the grass, bring it in, and put it in through the hopper or through the blower, and not that much weight on the deck. It's a true floating deck, and it leaves a beautiful cut.
Well, I'm going to have to drive by your place and pretend that I am at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Yeah, you can do that. Or in Milwaukee.
Yeah, but the Brewers are going to fade away into non-existence here in the next 30 days after the All-Star game. I'm not worried about them.
Yeah, okay. Well, fingers crossed.
Listen, tell us about the hours and how people can get a hold of you at Barry Equipment and Rental. Go ahead.
Okay, so our location here in Burley is off 159 West Highway 30. The phone number is 678-RENT, you just give us a call with anything that you need at any time from 7:30 to 5:30.
Well, Juan, I tell you what, I really appreciate your coming on the program this morning. You've been a super, super individual to visit with. Oh, by the way, you going to coach football again this fall?
I'm looking into it. I decided to take a year off to get some things done, and I'm actually looking to hop on Minico staff now.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I wish you luck. Wherever you go, you're going to be an asset, and I appreciate you, Juan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Nice man right there at Berry Equipment and Rental Sales, Service, and Parts, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, and, of course, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location, Berry Equipment and Rental. Right now, let's send it back over to Wheels. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, we're running a little bit late, but right now we're going to head for the streams or the lakes or the river. And here's Josh, the fishing expert, with the Old Fishing Hole, brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Good morning, Josh. How are you today?
Oh, we're doing good, Zeb. How are you today?
Fantastic. Listen, I can't wait to hear where you're at and what you're doing. Give us a thumbnail sketch. Go ahead.
Oh, right now we're sitting on a bench looking at Steck Park. We're out here on the upper end of the Brownlee Reservoir. Fishing's been pretty dang good. It's 2 feet from full. A lot of boats in and out. All the boat launches are usable. Crappie fishing spotty, but we have managed to square a couple shore lunches together while we've been here.
Well, now tell us a little bit about what you're trying to catch and what kind of tackle you're using, and tell us what kind of a trip you're on this week.
Well, earlier this week we went and did a little catfishing, and we were using bobbers, but we were using what they call a slip bobber. A lot of steelhead and salmon fishermen would use this technique, and keeps you just off of the bottom, and you can control your depth with the little knot that you put on your line. We're running, 20-pound braided line with some heavy fluorocarbon leader and just a nice little octopus or circle hook, and using worms, and there's a bunch of Mormon crickets running around, and makes pretty easy bait if you pick up a few of those, but we're just drifting them along the rocks and catching catfish.
Well, now catfish...
Earlier yesterday we were crappie fishing, and we just used some ultralight tackle with some 4 to 6 pound leader and some small jigs, and caught a couple nice bass and quite a few little crappie in another little location.
Well, talk to us a little bit about what's considered to be one of the major panfish, along with bluegills, crappies. I mean, what's the infatuation with catching crappies? Why do you like to do that?
Oh, it was just, they're really, really good table fare. So we filleted them out right here at camp and battered them up and fried them in a Dutch oven over the fire while we were preparing a few other things for our meal, and it just makes really good table fare, and you get like finger stick style fillets off of them, so each one's like a bite or two, but it's some of the best meat that you can actually fry up on location.
Let me ask you this, Josh. When you go for, let's say, catfish one day, and then you're after crappies or trout or bass the next, I mean, holy smokes, how do people alter all the gear that they're going to need? Or can they make the improvisation for each rod and reel? Tell us a little bit about the tackle that you have to take with you.
Myself, I have about 3 rods personally that I bring just for covering all of the spectrums of what I thought I was going to encounter this weekend. I had me a really heavy tackled, something that you'd even consider possibly for sturgeon, to fish on the bottom with a big heavy sinker and just a long leader. And then I bring my steelhead and salmon rod, which I use a lot. It had the bobber already on it, so to bobber fish, it was just a no-brainer. It had a little, medium heavy tackle on there, so it would handle just about any catfish I was going to catch. And then I just bring my my ultralight, nice little light action trout type fishing rod with really light line on it, and I use that for the crappie and the bass.
You know, Josh, for the first-time fisherman or maybe somebody that used to fish years and years ago like myself, do you at Sportsman's Warehouse, do you kind of put on some seminars, or do you take the time to show them how to tie the various knots for the various tackle and explain to them about maybe the bottom fishing of streams and rivers, and then also trying to catch the other kinds of fish? What do you do at Sportsman's? How do you teach people?
It's one of those that we try to always have at least one knowledgeable guy on the floor. So depending on how busy it is, time of year, it can vary. But we're going to try to take every second that you've got and make the most of it to at least get you on the water so that you're successful. We don't want you leaving the store without having the right gear, the right tackle, and the right knowledge to make sure that you have what you need. And if you have the time and you have the patience, any one of our associates will be glad to try to show you anything that you try to question us on. If we can't figure it out and we don't know, we're going to look it up so we can at least give you direction on whatever your needs are going to need to be.
Well,
to show you knots, hooks, swivels, anything that is going to be to your specific need in that location.
That's one thing I've noticed about Sportsman's Warehouse in Twin Falls, Josh, is that you've got everything, and people shouldn't be kind of taken aback and go, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, because they've got you and they've got others that really know and can pinpoint what they need. Is that correct?
Yeah, all it takes is a few questions from the person so that we can get a feel of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to achieve, because we got all that stuff, and we're not going to send you out with a bunch of stuff that you just don't need. We need to be specific, and if you come in and you're telling us, I'm going with a friend, and you got a little bit of what's going on, like what reservoir, what kind of fishing you're going to be doing, because we're going to try to be real specific. That way, when you get out there, it works.
And by the way, too, at Sportsman's Warehouse, you've got a lot of gift cards that can be sold, and people can use those as birthday presents or whatever, can't they?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of times that somebody comes in and they're just like, well, I want to buy him something for fishing, but I don't know what kind of fishing he does. And one of those, it's like it's hard for us to sell him anything if we don't know what to put in their hands. So at that point, we know he enjoys fishing. We might offer our gift card program so that they can just purchase it and have them come back in, and we're going to be specific with them. That being said, though, is if they don't open their stuff and it's new in the package, we're going to take that back, give them in-store credit, and we're going to swap it out with what they need.
Absolutely. Well, now give us, in the last couple of seconds here in this segment, tell us exactly what you're fishing for today, and how's your success been so far for this morning?
Oh, so far it's been good. We've caught a few crappie and bass just here in camp, but we're making a late brunch. Yesterday was my birthday. We stayed up late. Yesterday we fished all day. It was pretty hardcore. Kids got a little sunburnt, but Monday I think we caught 12 catfish just in a matter of hours with 5 lines in the water, of course. And then the next day we caught 13 catfish before we were like, okay, we don't want to clean many more than that. And then yesterday we ran up the river and we got into the crappie. And then we came back and we filleted them up and cooked them for my dinner. Today I think we're going to go and do a little bit more catfishing, a little bit more adventuring. But right now we've got at least, I'd say 20 to 25 pounds of catfish fillets in a cooler. So we're not hurting as a family to have fish sticks in the next couple weeks.
You are not going to go hungry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Josh, and he is the guru. He knows all about fishing, and you can see him and talk to him at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls, and he's the man on the old fishing hole. Josh, God bless you. Happy birthday belatedly, and have a wonderful weekend.
You have a great day, Zeb, and I appreciate your time.
All right, my friend. Sportsman's Warehouse. Great people, knowledgeable people in every department. 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Right now it's time for our weather, and our weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Delicious meats at Scarrows Meats. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's another gorgeous day here in the valley. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are expecting sunny skies for today. Winds out of the east right around 10 miles an hour, becoming west by the afternoon. Could have gusts as high as about 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 84. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 53. Tomorrow, another gorgeous day. Sunny, winds out of the west right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour, expecting a high of 81. Mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 53. By Saturday, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, but still mostly sunny skies with a high of 75. For Sunday, sunny skies and 80, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny and 87. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrows Meats. Tremendous meats, delicious meats at 331 North Road, Jerome. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. We are on our way in just a second to Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, but we want to say a big, big thank you to our major sponsor again for all they do, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And if you're getting ready for a road trip, you make sure you check on the best of tires, all the different tread designs for your car, your pickup, your SUV, all your trailers, camp trailers, horse trailers, boat trailers. They can and they will help you. Stop in and see any one of the 7 locations today, and don't forget the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more with the best of service at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to get out of here and head down Highway 30 for Lunch Bunch, and we want to say thank you to Wheels for covering for us with the end of the program. Hopefully we'll see you there with your family. God bless everybody. We'll see you next Monday at 8:06. Zeb at the Ranch, where we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be. God bless. Have a great weekend.